Man. What's up, y'all? I'm just telling y'all, with so much drama in the crypto scene, it's kind of hard being crypto DGen Z boy. It is wild out here. And no, I don't. I don't have everything in order. It's a lot of stuff to talk about today with one main topic. So I'm getting these articles in order. Um, I'm gonna try not to make it an "I told you so" day. Um, And it's nothing, as I always say, it's not about me being smarter than anybody or having more alpha than anybody or whatever. It's that I pay attention to the market a lot. Um, and I say stuff before other people sometimes because, I do have a smaller channel. I'm not focused on as much, but the same as I tell you guys, like the crypto market is so busy sometimes, even projects that I'm looking at I have to, sometimes people in the group, we got to work together. Say, hey, Zo, did you see this happen with this project? Whether it's good news, bad news, you have to work together as a team. I hear a lot of people saying, last cycle I tried to do it on my own, and this cycle I decided to get in the community, and it's easier or whatever. And it is like, I mean, it's different when you playing 1v1 and you want to play solo, you and knockout as we play in basketball, as you and five other people, you and 10 other people. Yeah, you probably want to play on your own, be your own player. But you're playing against billions and billions and billions of people. So you being in a group of 100 to 300 people is pretty much like um, it's pretty much still like one player. It's one player against billions or whatever. I do say all the time, and this is not me shilling my Patreon. Y'all know I don't care, but I say a lot of times my Patreon is not going to be as big as a lot of these other ones because at that point you having the guy you playing against, right next to you, whatever. I say 1 to 200 people is pretty decent or whatever. Um, but yeah, a lot of people try to do it on their own, and you really can't because there's a lot going on in the market. Man, it's hard to get all this stuff in order. I've been trying to bring out a lot of information, so that's why it takes me time to get it in order. It's not because I'm not organized. Oh, that one disappeared. That's cool. So let me slowly start talking about stuff. If you, I feel like y'all should have heard the story by now, but I'm gonna get to that later as I talk about some of this other stuff. Um, and I'm going to say up front another. I'll be rambling at the beginning of my streams, but whatever. This is going to be kind of a lax stream today, but it is some important news to talk to you guys about. I'm just trying to make sure everything is in order. Boom, boom. Ooh, this person's pissed off. Um, okay, all of that is pretty much the same. I don't. Okay, and I'll pull this one here. But hopefully, you guys are having a good morning. As I always say, hopefully, you're not being scared out of the market. I understand that prices may be falling and stuff is bleeding, and everybody's going to have a different strategy. You don't have to have the same strategy as me. I know a lot of people think it's crazy. They say, "Hey, man, it's a lot of people say, yes, sell the man go." I was telling y'all about this a month ago, at least 5 weeks ago. I feel like was when I first started telling y'all that the sell the May thing is going to be a thing. But whether people think I'm stupid for it or not, I'm not selling out of my positions. The only thing I'm doing is using this time to put more into my positions because I will say even some of those positions I held overall, if I had sold out, yeah, I probably had more capital to put in now on the dips. Um, so you can see that how you want to see it. You probably say, well, that's stupid. So if you knew this was going to happen, you should have pulled out or whatever. But the thing is, you never really know. I mean, 90% I probably would have guessed this would happen, as I've been talking about on the channel. But um, I don't know, just held my positions. I'm cool with it. And I'm just buying the dip, buying as much as I can while we're in this dip. And I'm hoping that it continues to be a little bit longer. A lot of people don't understand that. But I keep breaking it down the simplest way I can is that it just gives you time to buy more. You want more tokens. So when the market goes back up, you're good, especially when it's projects that you believe in. I know you're probably tired of me saying that, but some people probably need to hear it consistently because I'm the type of person I can hear stuff one or two times and be cool, but some people need reassurance. They need to be reminded or whatever. So you yourself may be annoyed with it, but some other people need to hear it. So no telling what can happen. Is I think we could get some sideways actions for, you know, until probably second week of July is what I'm shooting for. It could start popping before. I don't care, but I really, like I keep saying, I would like at least 6 to 8 weeks of downtime. And some of you guys in the Patreon, some of you know more than other people in the Patreon why I want to be sideways for a minute. Looking forward to something happening that you know could help out, the pockets. So I saw some very bullish information about that project this morning. So I'm just very excited to see what happens there. And I know a couple of you guys are in that with me. So hopefully a lot more than I think. Maybe some of you guys haven't said anything about it. But anyway, let's get to this. Um, this is Michael Saylor has one of the dopest pictures. So Michael Saylor just bought 22 Bitcoin worth $7.8 million and now holds 214,400 Bitcoin. Man, Michael Saylor is like this dude loves Bitcoin. That's all we can really say. He buys it when the price is up. He buys it when the price is down. It doesn't really matter to him. So this one came a little bit earlier than some of these. I'm gonna be honest. Some of these I'm gonna talk. I try not to do this, but I'm going to talk about some of these from my point of view and probably not read the full article. So that's kind of how today will be. It's kind of lax. Not a lot of stuff going on because it is everybody's bearish and it's kind of quiet market. But I'm always here, like I said, to reassure you guys. Whatever questions you need answered, I'll try to be here to answer those questions for you and keep you guys in the know of kind of what's going on. We got the Bitcoin ETF, BlackRock, excuse me. I'm pretty sure it's not zero, but we'll just call it zero. 4 days of zero inflow into the ETFs or whatever. Yeah, because I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen right now. It's a somewhat bearish time. I'm cool, but kind of bearish time. The prices have been falling in Bitcoin, so who wants to get in at that time? When you're thinking in a normal way, to me, it would be time to get in while it's falling. But people are saying that I keep saying I don't really think it's going to break this 60. But in all actuality, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that thinks that way. And the market loves to surprise you. So I don't know, maybe it could go to 55K. I keep telling you, I don't care. I know in the short term, this stuff has seemed crazy to you and everybody else or whatever. But I'm just, like I keep saying, I repeat the same things over and over. I'm looking long term. I'm not worried about what happens in the next 2 to 3 months, 6 months. I'm 8 months out, 8 months, 12 months, 18 months, not 2 years, but you know what I'm saying? Like a year and a half from now is what I'm really paying attention to. So I'm not really focused on that. It's just not the most bullish time in the market. People come in when there's euphoria, and that's what you expect. This is next one is I'm not going to read the article. I just like to have the graphic on the screen sometimes. I remember who was that in the group? They was like, you gotta stop reading Coin Telegraph, man. This is not even the source of my information most of the times, but they have the best graphics, And I will say that's why you got to know what's going on in space, because I have seen some trash on there too. So you can't think you're just going to come to somebody's site and just find all the alpha and information. Sometimes it's misleading, very misleading sometimes, to be honest. But they have nice graphics, so I like putting something on the screen for y'all to look at. Some of y'all like me. I like pictures too. I like pictures. You know how people joke and say stupid people like pictures. Like they just look at the pictures, don't read the words. I like pictures. I'm an artistic person. Anyway, so I'm just pulling this graphic up for y'all to have something to look at. But so I'm gonna just jump straight to my point of what I'm gonna say. Usually I say at the end, but what I do what I've started to do looking at the markets is when I see people putting a target on Bitcoin, and not just any people. I'm talking about like the big dogs, the big trade fi guys, the big people in the crypto space, the big heads. Y'all know what I'm saying. So when I see them put a target on something, I start to shoot for like 60% of that, maybe 70%, but maybe 60 to 65%. So to give you guys just a general view of what we're talking about. I know people say 69 was the top, but I never really, if you hear me talk on this channel, I really never mentioned 69 from last cycle. I always say 60, 65 or whatever. I don't even really count the top one, because you want to have some room for error. But anyway, so last cycle the target was 100,000, right? And so everybody's 100,000 Bitcoin, 100,000 Bitcoin, whatever, whatever. People saying it could have happened if FTX didn't happen. I don't know. Whatever. It's in the past. But so everybody was saying 100,000. So when I see them saying that, as I keep saying on this channel, they want you to have that target in mind, so you can push it to their real target. So I always say that's 60% to 65% of what they say. So they said 100,000 last time. So we got to, once again, I know we hit 69, but I still say 65, 60,000 or whatever. So that's 60 to 65%. So this cycle, I've seen all kinds of stuff. I've seen $1 million. I've seen 500,000, 250 million. Once again, who's to say if it hits these numbers? As I keep saying, if I'm wrong, I'm only going to be wrong in a good way. So with the main one I keep seeing is like really that 200,000. Some people saying 150,000, but I see a lot of 200,000, which puts me at, and this is before I even thought about this. I had just made this target up in my mind. Well, not made it, but I have some reasons why I said it. But I keep saying my target for Bitcoin, if you want to have a ballpark of where Bitcoin may start falling. But remember that's Bitcoin, because that Bitcoin fall is going to come back into altcoins or whatever. And I keep saying 110 to 100, really 115,000 is my target. 120,000, the top is what I'm thinking or whatever. But I could be wrong. This thing might blow and go to 350. But that's still my target. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not letting anybody push me into euphoria if I see it sitting at around 104,000. Once again, once it crosses 100,000, people are going to go stupid. But I'm not about to let anybody continue to push me into euphoria, or it hasn't hit 200,000 yet. So, I'm not waiting for that. So I say 115,000, and then people keep saying it's 200,000, and they talking about, the fact that we hit all time high before the halving and all that kind of stuff. But that's my target. What is this one here? This is just people talking about taking profit. Long-term holders on Bitcoin and stuff. They're taking profits around this time because it's reached a high. Maybe they're already, because they've been holding probably years and years, not just from last cycle. So they're already taking their positions and putting it back in altcoins probably or something like that. I don't know, but I don't want to really talk about that one. This is one, and once again, I'm not trying to be negative or anything like that. I'm just reporting what's going on out there, and I told you guys. Of one, at the halving, a lot of people expected that Bitcoin was going to immediately just fly to the top and just go crazy. But that's not how it happens. Like after the halving, usually there's some downtime. We pump up to the halving, and then I was about to talk about something else. I'll talk about it later. But usually we pump up to the halving, then it's kind of chill around this time after the halving. But I've been talking to you guys about the runes. I told you guys, I said, yeah, people can probably make 100,000x, whatever, but I wouldn't FOMO into something new like this or whatever. But it's saying just a lot of the rooms or whatever is like 70% down, 68%. I don't know, 70% rounding up, 70% down. That's why I told you I wasn't about to jump into this. I know a lot of you, when you hear of how to make money in the space, if you're new to investing or the crypto, whatever it is, you hear that if you get in early, you can make a whole bunch of money. So a lot of people want to jump into stuff early. They want to jump into the meme coins when they first launch and it's at 15K, and that's not always the decision you should make. And a lot of people get rugged trying to jump into stuff early. And let me put that in my notes to talk about something else later real quick. But it's crazy, y'all. It's funny. Every time I tell you all the time about my story. I grew up in the hood or whatever. But when my friends see me typing, they like, where you learn to do that? But I told y'all my story of they didn't have any PE classes left, so I got forced into typing class, and I had this girl sitting next to me, and she was real competitive. I'm a Mamba mentality type of person. You're not gonna beat me at anything. I'm gonna try my best. Like even I remember like I'm going to tangent here, but sometimes when you spar or whatever, when you box, you box inside your weight class. But sometimes when you spar, if you got a crazy coach, they put you in with somebody that's like 20 pounds heavy or whatever. And I didn't care. I was like, I like being the underdog. So basketball, whatever it is, I like being the underdog. But that's why I learned to type. So y'all see me going crazy. I had this crazy girl next to me in typing class, and Also competitive. So it wasn't about being smart. I was like, I wanted the highest grade just because I was competitive. It wasn't even about being smart. Anyway, that's that tangent. But anyway, so I know a lot of times you guys want to be early, but a lot of the rooms are not doing too well right now, and Bitcoin's not doing too well either. What is this? Oh, this isn't the best graph. I thought I had a better graphic for this one. I'm sorry, I messed up. Sorry, the picture's not pretty. But I think CZ is supposed to be sentenced today. I don't be honest. I don't know what time the court case is. It could be going on right now. It could be over. I don't even know. Maybe y'all tell me in the comments. But if you know CZ from Binance, I know the last name is Zhao. I don't know how to say his first name, but CZ, which was over Binance's, you know, his case is today's. And CZ of Binance will be sentenced in U.S. court in Seattle tomorrow, which is today, pleading guilty to pleading guilty to one count of violating the Bank Secrecy Act last November. The Department of Justice has recommended 3 years in prison, citing the scale of his misconduct. Why 3 years? CZ's plea agreement said he couldn't appeal any sentence under 18 months, while there was no clauses preventing U.S. prosecutors from recommending a greater sentence to CZ. CZ then would have the right to appeal it. He's just asking how much time you think CZ should have. But what I'm just bringing this up real quick because I always say they use this type of stuff to make people bearish on crypto, and a lot of people are saying I'm not trying to predict this. I don't know, but a lot of people saying when you get a court case like this, like when we had with and stuff happened with what was wrong with Sam Bankman, that it can mark a bottom for the market. I don't know, man. It's just news. If y'all want to go look into this, you can go look into it. But I will say, whatever bad people think he did, he has done a lot for the space. Binance is still the biggest. I think people think Coinbase is the biggest, but it's not. Binance is still the biggest exchange, and there are many more countries, but Coinbase is the biggest here because that's all they're trying to allow us to have. Like I said, we already lost KuCoin, and they act like they're trying to take Mexi from us or whatever. So y'all be careful out there. That's all I can say. Let me stop. I was gonna be petty. I see people reporting about something that I reported like 3 weeks ago. I be trying to bring y'all stuff early so y'all know what's going on. What is this? I'll skip that. Oh, let me bring this up a little bit later. Let me not talk about this now. Now I gotta find where my place was again. Oh, that's there too. All right, so most of this stuff is going to be about the main story I'm going to talk about if y'all haven't caught up with the drama today. Um, this is another markup when somebody's trying to predict that the market's about to take off. Some of these I'm going to skip y'all. Sorry. Because I don't want to get too much stuff in y'all head. And once again, banks doubling down on their prediction of the price of Bitcoin. Don't really care. And sometimes I still have tabs up here that I was looking into and I didn't get to erase them before the stream. Sorry. So I got to go through all these tabs of what I was trying to keep up with. FOMC this week's CZ sentencing, just talking about all the stuff that's happening this week. BlackRock inflows is bad, blah, 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 blah. Oh, is that right? I didn't read this one, but it says circles USDC overtakes USDT in stablecoin transactions on Visa. All right, let's get to the big story. All right. So the biggest story of the day, which is where the thumbnail came from, and I'm pretty sure if you already watched other people's shows or whatever, they already talked about this or whatever. The thing is, how do I want to talk about this? I kind of got to talk about it because it's the biggest news. But if I were to talk about this the way I talk about it, y'all would be annoyed because it's the same stuff I've been saying for 6 months now. So let me say what it is, and then I'll talk. I don't know how I'm gonna talk about it. Let me say what it is first. So anyway, EigenLayer, which you guys haven't heard me talk about, but I think it might be on the group's watch list. The watch list in the group, I don't have everything in there because y'all know the problems we've been having. But this was, they had this whole narrative that was supposed to run this cycle, and I felt like it could be big. And I think we did get into one project that was in this narrative, and I think it still could do well. But as I've been telling you guys, I've been kind of shifting the way that I'm going to invest in stuff for multiple different reasons. And people think you're just saying this stuff, but you really got to go day by day, week by week, and figure out some stuff you may have been bullish on. You may, change your mind about. Some people use that as an excuse when they didn't know what they was talking about in the first place. So I ain't gonna get in that room. But anyways, so what I'm saying is restaking was supposed to be a big narrative this cycle. I don't know. I think think Eigen probably has ruined that. I don't know. A lot of people saying like, "Oh, don't worry, people are going to forget about this because people have short-term memory," which is definitely true. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. But what? Okay, let me just say what happened. I'm gonna just sum this up. I know Rand talked about it this morning, and there's this video everybody's been playing. He played it too, and it explains what happened. But I don't know. Like he said, I don't know if he get copyright strike. But to make it in simplest terms, EigenLayer is a huge project, y'all. It's a big project that if people had any type of alpha, you would have known about this for a while. Um, but they haven't launched yet, but they're getting ready to launch. But pretty much what they did is, people were waiting for the airdrop. Let's just make this simple. People were waiting for the airdrop, and then what happened at the airdrop? Um, a lot of people's experiences when you get airdrops, you're like, man, can we get the airdrop in the states or whatever? Do you have the KYC? Blah blah blah. And you have a lot of projects that have this problem, but to them it seems like EigenLayer purposely they purposely kind of locked out a lot of the big dogs, which is, the states is, that's why we trying to get more places outside the states, to be honest. I'm just say that. But in the states, people couldn't get it. A lot of countries, they couldn't get it. And it seemed like it was just a small number of people that could get it. But even if you could access the airdrop, it was like locked or whatever. And so you couldn't, access it until they decide you can access it. Usually when a project has an airdrop and they launch, at the launch, you get the airdrop at launch or whatever, and people can decide whether they want to sell or not. A lot of people are trying to find ways to stop this from happening, either by launching the project later in the cycle when it's bullish or whatever. Because a lot of projects were supposed to already launch and they haven't launched because they're like, oh, it's bearish right now. They're just gonna dump the tokens, which is probably true, but that's what you signed up for. Like, it is what it is. But they kind of playing the game unfair now and telling people don't even know when they're going to be able to access the airdrop. So all I'm saying is I hope nobody else tries this because y'all seen me go off like I'm crazy. So anyway, but a lot of people are pissed about this, and but let me go into a little bit more. I got a whole bunch of tabs, but I'm gonna try not to repeat the same things. Let me show you this one first. But like I said, this is what happened. So like, forget it. We ain't gonna talk about that one. But just like I said, when other projects have launched lately, as of late, the last 2 to 4 weeks, the project does dump because people are like, hey, I'm gonna take this money and buy the dip on some lower market cap tokens. I got too much information I'm trying to share. Hold on, let me see. Let me just write this in a note. I'll talk about it later. So this is the main problem that people. So it's not that they just locked it. Dang, this person is first. So some of y'all probably don't even know who this is. This is why I say, let me tell you something, yo. Even now, maybe we don't have a bull market as big as this one. Maybe this is the last big one when you can make money on meme coins and other unregulated stuff. But even right now, like I told you, I have like 7 or 8 Twitters that I use for information, and I follow different people, different narratives on the different Twitters or whatever. You should be collecting your list of people that are legit, that are scammers and stuff, so you know how to move in the markets or whatever. That's all I'm gonna say. So what I'm saying is, I don't really want to say this person's name, and this person didn't either because they didn't even tag the person; they just put the initials. But what people are pissed off about is the fact that with EigenLayer, like we've been knowing for months and months now, like or not years, that EigenLayer is going to be this big project. Restaking is going to be a big narrative or whatever. And so some people were staking their ETH or whatever to get in on the airdrop or whatever because they were already saying that it could be like kind of like geo locked or whatever. But so this person who's pretty big in the space, I don't know if y'all can read it on. I'll say it. I ain't scared, but they didn't even tag him. But GCR, which is this guy who came back and a lot of people respect him as a well-known trader, smart trader, always makes the right moves. Pay attention to what I'm saying here. So I'm not knocking the person, but they came back out of dormancy. Everybody was bullish on him, like, hey man, big time traders coming back. This dude never makes a wrong move. He's the guy. He knows what's happening. Yeah, he knows what's happening. Because what happened, people were pissed off because it's like, wait a minute, you were staking your Ethereum, but the immediate day after the snapshot, how did you know? How did you know when the snapshot was, my guy? But this wasn't the only person. It was a list of people. If you go on Twitter, they getting in on everybody. They telling everybody that's like, hey man, you pulled out, you withdraw like a day after the snapshot. How did you know? Is this insider trading? Wow, that would be. I don't know why people think like that's why I keep saying they're bringing the games from traditional finance into crypto. I don't know why people act like they don't know people be insider trading. That's between legit projects, meme coins. I've been telling y'all forever about in the Patreon and even talked about it on my channel yesterday. And that's why I was saying in the group, like now you're seeing people talk about what I've been talking about. They late to the party. I've been talking about this, even though it's annoying to y'all. Now y'all starting to see how important it is so you can know how to navigate the market. And so what are y'all, some of y'all probably still saying, and some of y'all have said in so many words, well, if they're going to be shilling it, I'm going to stay in it. You can do what you want to do. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. What I'm trying to say is the same people that are mad about some of the games that EigenLayer played, they're playing the same games on y'all because everybody realizes they have influence and they can do these things. I told you some of these projects I'm not going to touch because I know they probably listen to what I'm saying. I know they probably can fly. But what if it's like a situation like this when they're like, "Hey man, we made our money. We don't even care about this project anymore." That's my mindset. What if they move on from it? But what I was saying is, yeah, it's a lot of people that are people calling out people on Twitter like, nah, you was one of them. You knew some insider information because you took yours out the day after the snapshot. How did you know? And so y'all can scam people if y'all want. That's why I keep saying about these scammers in the space. You get away with it for, mind you, people. I'm not saying they are, but that's suspect. Because when let me say this: when you waiting for a snapshot, if any of y'all have waited for a snapshot for airdrop, you keep that thing staked. You don't know when the snapshot is. You're not trying to take the chance of missing out on this airdrop, especially if it's going to be a big airdrop, something like EigenLayer. So it's like, how did you know to take out the day before? But what I'm saying is, this is a person that people, I mean, when I say some people in this space worship this person, like the all-seeing God eye, like this person, I follow everything they do. And so they've been having this track record of being like this deity for so long. But what I keep saying is people be scamming people thinking they're getting away because you've been getting away with it for days or weeks, or maybe it's been months, or maybe it's been a year and a half and you feeling good about it, but it always comes out. And why would you want this? I'm too smart for that. I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want people having that type of hate for me or whatever like this. So people be thinking they're getting away with scamming, but it always comes out. Like the old people say, whatever's in the dark is gonna come to the light. But anyway, so we have this next graphic that people like they going ham on Twitter. Maybe I should maybe you can search hashtag EigenLayer. I don't know. They going in on everybody. Maybe it can give you some alpha on who to pay attention to and not to. But so they're saying right here, this is back when everybody and oh, you know what I just thought about? This is the point. I don't know if y'all remember him. Well, if you pay attention to Twitter in March, everybody was saying like, "Hey man, you better get in your ETH now." Everybody's saying that. Everybody's saying ETH is nothing. It's not going to perform as well as the Bitcoin ETF. The ETF is coming. Everybody's saying the Ethereum ETF is coming. You should get in. Some of these same people that they called out are the same people who were saying that. But as you can see around March 15th, after they made it push ETH up or whatever, then you see this big fall off or whatever of Ethereum. And so they're saying this is the same time that the snapshot was or whatever. And that's when Ethereum started falling or whatever. So they're saying that a lot of people have some insider knowledge and whatever. And once again, this is what I was saying on my stream yesterday. When y'all think it's boring, that's why people will always make up an excuse why they're pushing the button. I know we all get clouded judgment sometimes, and we like, oh, is this or that? That's the flow of the market. This is that. People are going to use those same things that you think, oh, it's just sell in May and walk away. Don't worry, y'all. But some of these things are not going to come back. And so that I know that's some of the fears that you have overall about probably all the projects you're holding. You're probably like, well, are these projects going to come back? I feel like the projects, like we had one that, I talk about that had some FUD. And it wasn't even the project. I keep saying it wasn't the project that had problems. It was greedy people that was looking for airdrops that caused the problem. But for the projects we in, I feel like they're fine, whether it's sell and May, go away, whatever. But so what people is doing, I remember all those influencers pumping Ethereum out, telling you need to get in Ethereum. And I didn't even pay attention because y'all should know by now, I'm not holding Ethereum. So I wasn't holding it. So I wasn't aware of the price action as much. Like I probably would report it on my stream or whatever, but I wasn't aware of the day-to-day price action of Ethereum or whatever. So going back and looking at this time is when Ethereum started falling. So you got to realize when people playing games on you and they's like, it's rising because it is, it's falling because it is. It's always a person pushing the button. That's all you got to know. It's always a group, even if it's a group of people in insider trading. It's a person pressing a button. Like sell or buy. That's all it is. Stop making it more complicated than it is. Um, I'm probably doing this out of order, but nope. All right, too late. It's already on the stream. I don't even know if y'all can see that. I want to talk about this more later. Maybe I'll talk about it now. Whatever. So this, they said EigenLayer is excuse me, is just another example of why memes are outperforming. People are tired of VCs and insiders getting 70%, 80% of the supply and dumping on them. Memes are funny, and even when snipers in the team also still get better distribution. I've read that with bad in fluctuations, but they didn't punctuate correctly either. Anyway, people are tired of VCs. But what I will say is, you still that doesn't always mean that a project is bad. Um, I'm probably jumping ahead in my notes. Let me go and talk about this one. It's out of order, but whatever. So what I will say is that's why, and I know a lot of people. Even I got two friends or three. It's three of us, and we got four. I'm four including me. So we got this other little text group that we be talking in, and they still be laughing at me for not. It was like, you the one told us about Dimension. Why do you even get into it? But I keep saying, like, because they launched it at high evaluation. I want to make a certain number of X's. I do see some of them. I told them about Dimension, and they got into it, and they get some of the airdrops or whatever. But I'm still cool on it. It just launched high. But what I will say is, when you have these VC projects, what is bad is when I think Rand talked about this more too. Like when you have a lot of dilution ahead, that's really bad when you have a high market cap. If it launched to 800 million and there's only 5% on the market, that's bad. I don't see that as bad when it's a lower market cap, because you still got room for growth in the future, even if it is still 10x dilution. Say if the token runs 1,000x and it's 10 dilute, excuse me. Say if a token runs 1,000x, but there's 10x dilution by the end of the cycle, but you still got 100x because it was a lower market cap. And you still had an opportunity to make life changing wealth. I feel like it's not as bad as when it's a higher market cap. So sometimes I'll see stuff that I was bullish on. Some of these y'all don't even know. I've been tracking them for years or whatever. They came out. I didn't say nothing to y'all about them because I was like, why talk about it? I was like, I see how they came out, see the vesting schedule, see the market cap. And I'm like, all right, let's just skip this one. Let's move on to the next one. So there's going to be a lot of probably change in my mind in this cycle of stuff I was paying attention to. So there's two reasons why I don't even talk about these things to y'all early, because I don't want y'all to be like, oh, Zoe said he was bullish on this, and do you buy it, but it doesn't perform the way I thought it was because it launched at a different valuation or whatever. Number two is, we had some problem with people trying to snipe stuff and whatever and steal stuff in the group or whatever. So I don't even talk about stuff. To be honest, probably no sense even looking at my watch list in there now, because I got a whole nother watch list now. Sorry, this is just kind of how we got to play the game in order to make money. But so yeah, when you have something launching at a high valuation and it's only 5% of the supply out, and it could be like a huge dilution by the end of the cycle, you're probably not going to make much money on those. So you got to like really know what's going on in the space. I see a lot of people trying to talk about projects early because they know it's going to be a big project or whatever, but they don't know what the crap they're talking about. You're not going to make any money off that. And because they don't know these games that have been played, some of the games you can see beforehand. Like if you know to look in the right places, you can be like, all right, this is going to be real popular, but I'm not going to talk about it to my group because I can see like how I see what the vesting schedule is. I see what it's going to launch at or whatever. And that's why you can't be around people that's trying to fake like they have alpha, because they don't know what the crap they're talking about and have stuff like this happen. Imagine if say this was just a pure launch and this happened before the launch, so people still got time. But say if I was just talking about this, I'm like, ooh, I know EigenLayer is going to be big or whatever. I'm gonna tell my group about it, so they think I got alpha, and then y'all get this trash happening right here. And then I guess I'll talk about it. I think I talked about it on my channel. It was the ZK Casino last week that a lot of people felt like they was going to make money off of. And say if I was talking about ZK Casino, or we're going to put them and EigenLayer in the same bubble right now. And I'm talking about it before because I'm trying to show y'all I got the alpha. And then you go rush and buy it like when it launches, and then it just dumps on your head. And then we had some that went down, maybe 2.5, maybe even 3x or whatever. I don't know what that was, but I'm talking about something that's dumping down 7, 10x or whatever, because people find out this bad news and they just dump it. And so that's why I got to be careful. Even sometimes lately, one time I tried something where I saw it launch and I was like, I'll wait a day or two. Some of them I will be like, hey man, it's launching right now. Like, let's jump in this joint. But some of them I'll be like, oh, let's wait a while, see how this performs. I'm gonna be honest. I got one that I've been watching for like It launched, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but it launched like a long time ago. But I felt like I knew how the price action was going to go. But it launched like 7 months ago, and I ain't said nothing about it yet. I'm still watching that Joker though. I'm still watching it. But it takes a lot of intellect and a lot of brain power to work this market. It's not just finding tokens. You gotta just, especially when you have a group, I gotta be careful of how I talk about stuff. Anyway, I'm on a tangent now, but this is just explaining what happened on EigenLayer. I already broke it down to you. I want to play that video. That it's not funny what happened, but the video is funny. Y'all can watch it on Rand. This is on his page, his Twitter. But yeah, so this is kind of like this is actually worse than Starknet, to be honest. But that's what. But what my point is, not all the time the most popular project is going to make you money is what I'm trying to get to. That's pretty much the main point I'm trying to get to. So everybody can talk about the hottest projects or whatever, but I'm gonna be over here making money. I don't care how hot your project is. I'm trying to be in the project that's going to make money. Um, this is the same thing talking about meme coins. So let me say this. Am I done? Yeah, the non-transferable liquidity. They got scammed. I don't want to get too deep into it. Y'all can go research it yourself. Um, More about the bank. Yeah, pretty much everything is about EigenLayer today and how people are pissed off about what they did. So what I'm gonna say, for my group, for my Patreon or whatever, I try to make sure everybody's protected. Listen, I am not an all-seeing eye. I'm not a god. I'm not a deity. I always try to tell you guys. I don't even, try to say I got all the alpha, because I can't control what a project does. I can't control what the VCs do. And most of all, I can't control how the market receives a project. But I try to make sure the projects we get into have enough upside for us to make life-changing wealth. And I feel like the market is going to receive them well. I know the VCs and the influencers are going to market them, and it's not going to be right now. And I'm cool with that because I'm just keep collecting these projects. But what I will say is, with on along the lines of people pretending to have alpha and all this stuff. And it's like I see people. Hold on, let me make the full statement first. But what I see people doing is it is smart that we realize that, as I said, I was one of the first people to say that meme coins are going to be a narrative of this cycle. But now I see people trying to shield meme coins after they've already did a big run. Like, for one, a lot of people using their YouTube subscribers and their Patreon members to pump their own bags, and these people, I'm not trying to call people stupid. I'll say naive. A lot of these people are naive and following some of these influencers. Number one, they don't know what the crap is going on in the market. If they do catch something moderately early, they're just going to use you to pump it. They're going to get you in late. What I will say is I'm trying to get my group not only into utility projects and other projects early. We're going to find other ways to hedge our portfolios, so that we still do well in this market. And if I never really said this, I try to do with every project, but what I will say is 80% of the projects that I do get in my Patreon, I'm trying to make it so as where if one of them does well, like one, say we could be in, we're not, but we could be in 40, 50 different projects. But I want to make it so as if one does well, you so doggone happy about how that one performs, that it doesn't matter. And I'm trying to make sure that all of them are like that. So trying to make sure we, really make some life changing wealth. But with people, remember, I always say you got to follow the sentiment of the market, what other people are thinking. And so a lot of people they've been tired of, some of the bigger projects and utility projects. And a lot of people do want to just gamble on meme coins or whatever else that there is out there stuff. So we're going to make sure we're in the good ones of those also that are going to hedge against, what could be going on in the market. I will try to even state clearly, even when I talk about those in what we call the basement, which ones are just gamble lottery tickets and which ones I'm like, hey man, I would really hold this one and for some real life changing wealth. What I will say is right now we're probably going to get a lot of retests and retracements in a lot of these tokens. So I'm kind of chilling, sitting on my hands right now, and just to help some people. I know everybody can't afford the Patreon, but for the value you get in the Patreon, I say you should join it. But I will say also here, as I said in there, like 30%. If I had money on the side right now, I would be putting 30% into what I feel like are good prices. That stuff has retraced projects I believe in. 70% of that money I will hold to see if we have bigger dips. And if we don't get bigger dips, I'll just have 70% still on the side to buy newer projects that are coming out. I would hope that, I know a lot of people say, hey man, this is all the money I got to invest this cycle. This is what I'm working with. But hopefully you have some type of income that, whether it be a job, weekly, bi-weekly, whether you'll be able to, still DCA into the market or whatever. But so I'm just even holding down on a lot of that, whether it's utility gaming tokens, meme tokens, whatever it is, and just trying to wait for what I probably think is going to be a bigger dip. And altcoins, and Bitcoin could go lower. Bitcoin's been retracing because at the beginning of the week it was at like 67. We sitting around 69, 61,000 right now. I'm still thinking the 60,000 is going to hold. But let me say this on stream. I think the 60,000 is going to hold, but you got to realize they got to make sure y'all scared. So they could dump it down to 55, 54. I don't know. I know I laugh about the stuff and it probably aggravates y'all, but I'm not trying to like laugh in your face or be funny. But to me, it's just kind of funny because you kind of I've seen the games before, and you just got to. Let me say this. Let me say the clearest statement I probably say, and I just thought this just came to my mind. The clearest statement that I can probably make on the stream is when you're getting scared in the market and you see the prices falling, your altcoins are bleeding. You got to remember one thing: they also want to make money. So a lot of people have this perspective of like, oh, the big dogs and the whales and the VCs just want to dump on us. True, but they also want to make money, and so I don't feel like they feel like they've made enough money. So we're still in the cycle. It's not the end of the cycle. That's one statement. And one thing I keep saying is this is my theory that I've said a number of times on the channel, is that this is going to get a little conspiracy here. So I'm trying to keep it light because some of y'all aren't ready for this. But what I believe is, around every 100 years, usually around the 20s, go back and study the 1920s, whether it's early or late 1920s, there's this generational shift of wealth, right? Keep up with this, whether you think it's conspiracy or not. So every 100 years, there's this transfer of generational wealth. Think back then, the Rockefellers, J.P. Morgans, what's the other guy name? The Rothschilds, all those people, right? And so I'm gonna leave some of it out. What I would say is last cycle, they had their plan in effect because I always say this, whether they're rich, billionaires, whatever they are, I still say they're stupid. And I mean that. But what they do is they're only good at one thing, and that's mind control, brainwash, and all that type of stuff or whatever, right? So last cycle, they went to the playbook because all they do is follow a playbook. If you just go back and study stuff over 100 years or whatever, you'll see just like a crypto cycle, the world just works on a plan. They're like, all right, we hit the 16-year mark, time for another war. All right, we did this. All right, crash real estate again. If you go back and it's just a pattern they follow. They're not smart. They just said, oh, this pattern worked before. Let's just do it again. That's why you hear a lot of people talking about Wyckoff and whatever. I try not to get too deep into that stuff. I just try to say we early in the market. As I say, buy good prices, sell them later, right? But that's why you have stuff like Wyckoff, because it works. It works on human emotion. Anyway, so what I was trying to get to is last cycle, they got ready to do their generational wealth transfer or whatever. And then they noticed that, wait, what's going on, man? These stocks not doing what we thought they was going to do. We just printed all this money for stimulus checks. Like, not getting political. No, I don't care what side you're on. But they said, we're going to print all this money, the stimulus money, make them feel we're giving it to them. But we know they're going to put it in the market. We're going to make money in it because we've been sitting on these stocks bags forever. It didn't work out like they wanted it to. And they was trying to figure out why didn't it work the way they wanted to. They got smacked in the face with GameStop and they heard about this thing called crypto. What? So you telling me all the young people and the crazy people are going into this thing called crypto? And so that's where the money they thought they were going to make, they made some money, but not like they thought they were. So they found out about crypto, and this cycle they're in crypto and they want to make some of that sweet money too. So trust and believe that this thing, the end of the cycle, they still want to make more money. We still good. Like I say, I know good and well. I said it on stream so you guys know that I have a visualization. What is wrong with my mouth today? Of what your portfolio is maybe looking like. I said, hey, you might have started with 10K. You might be at 1,800. You might be feeling stupid. Like, man, this is dumb, man. What am I doing or whatever? But you still have time in the cycle. Even if, you were in some plays that were bad, you still have time to correct it. You still have time to make money. Like I said, whatever you started with, you'll get back there. You'll get beyond that or whatever. So, don't let people shake you out the market. Some of you may not want to go the crypto Zoe route, or crypto, Zoe holds his tokens, right? And he says, I'm just going to ladder in and put in more money. Some of y'all are going to want to sell out. And, because he's like, man, sell me. I'm going to sell out my tokens and buy back. I just still say it's kind of dangerous because we don't know what could happen. And everybody, hindsight is 2020. I keep saying on this channel, everybody gonna say, man, I knew that was gonna happen. He told me he was gonna be selling me and walk away. So I knew it was gonna dump. I should have sold. Man, I'm stupid. No, you don't know. You know from hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. Now that you're past it, you see it. Like same thing I'm thinking. I have the thought run through my brain too, right? Same thing. Like, so you told him sell a man and walk away. You knew when, I think it was like my portfolio was at its top. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, maybe something like that. And to be honest, from my top, I'm still good from where I started in the market. I'm still very much in profit from where I started in the market. But I will say from the top, I'll tell you across everything, my utility plays, interoperability, layer ones, gaming, AI, all like everything. I think I'm probably down 40% from the top of where it was. And so you could feel crazy about that. You could be like, dang, man, I could have took all that money, had almost twice as much money and put it back in the market. I have those thoughts too. So I'm not going to say I don't, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not going to feel stupid about it, nothing like that. It's just kind of how it works because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what tricks they're going to play on you. So just trying to give you that reassurance that we all feel these types of feelings. Like it's just natural to feel that type of way. Like I see, even some of the projects I was really bullish on, one in particular that y'all know, I'm like, dang, I didn't expect this to happen with this. Like, I would have never expected that. I still feel like the project's going to come back. I got to go, look around and see what's going on over there later today myself. But yeah, a lot of people just want to come to their channel and gloat like, oh, we win and we win and we win. And like most people talking like that, they got so many losses, it's crazy, So yeah, a lot of our stuff is retracing. It's altcoins. Some of it's lower market caps. They're gonna retrace. They're gonna bleed when Bitcoin does what it does. But I have full conviction in my studies and what I've looked in these projects that they're gonna do well. Some of them are actually still doing well. One is pissing me off because I'm gonna be honest, it's one I want to talk to you about. I think it's gonna retrace though. And no, actually, I've already talked about it. Some of y'all know it's a while ago. You probably would have to dig for this one, but it's ticking me off. I know y'all think it's crazy, but it's pissing me off because the suckers went up 100x. I mean, not 100x. I lied. I didn't mean to say that. Not 100x, 100%. And I'm like, will you go ahead and retrace? And it's just sitting up there. It's just sitting there. It's being stubborn. It's holding against the market. And I want this mug to retrace, and it won't retrace. But it's a lot of stuff that. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. I'm trying to make sure we holding a lot of good picks, and that if one of them performs, we good. But I'm trying to make sure every one of them performs well, so we good in this. I'm trying to make as much money as I can. But anyway, let's get to some of these comments and questions. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I think. Azzy said, good morning, Ghost. Good morning, Azzy. How you doing? Natty said, morning, G. Morning, Natty. Hopefully you're feeling better today. I know you said you wasn't feeling too hot the other day, so hopefully you're feeling better about everything now. As you said, Patreon has very decent people, supportive and helpful. Yeah, because I try to make sure it's that way. I'm not trying to gloat, but people know I'm not. Somebody came on the channel yesterday that I kicked out. I think how many people have I kicked out? So I think only 2, maybe 3. I think it was 2. But when you start talking a certain way in there, I don't put up with that. I'm not the person who needs Patreon money, so I'll kick out somebody in a minute if you causing bad energy into the group or whatever. And I'm always watching how people word in their sentences. More than y'all think. I still got some of there and then now. Y'all be word. I be looking at how y'all word sentences. Y'all think I'll be paying attention. I might see y'all talk for 7 hours and may not address any comment y'all said, but I don't read all of them. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't tolerate. I don't tolerate people like talking bad to one another, trying to FUD or trying to, I even one of my guys. I had to get on him because he's in another guy. I think is a cool guy. He's in his group, and I was like, "Watch how you," because if it was my group, you'd be kicked out. Yeah, I don't tolerate that. People talking like I'm not a scammer. I know I'm not purposely trying to hurt anybody. We had one project that is not doing as well as we wanted to do because of greedy people and airdrops and stuff like that. But it's not my fault. It's nothing I can't control. And I told the person over and over, you kept talking about, I'm just collecting this project. This is my millionaire bag. That's all you going to collect? Like I kept saying it. I like the project, but it's not all you should be collecting. And that was, damn, that's on you. It's not fine. I never advised you to do that. And I told you specifically not to do that, but you did it. Then you want to get mad when the project sinks or whatever, or is not performing as well. I think it's going to be all right. But anyway, yeah, I don't tolerate that in my group. I try to make sure we supporting one another. Everybody's helping one another, and that's the kind of the energy that I try to have. And like I keep saying, every time I say this statement, I try to make sure nobody takes it in a condescending way. But I'm like, I started the group, I'm the kind of leader of the group, and so I kind of control the energy of it. It's the same as when people they have children and their children start doing crazy stuff, and they're like, I don't know where you got this from. They got it from you. They got it from you. You got an attitude all the time. You always cussing people out, or you always twerking. And then when your little daughter start twerking everywhere, and she only 3 years old, you talking about I didn't teach you that. Yes, you did. They saw you do it. What are you talking about? So they're gonna mimic. They're gonna mimic the energy of whoever the leader is or whatever and stuff. I'm going a little tangent here, just a minute. But this one thing I got from my mother that I think she was really good at. A lot of times when children are crying, everybody starts babying them. They either baby them and start cooing and talking all the stupid goo goo gaga stuff, or they what they shouldn't do. They start getting upset and like telling the baby to be quiet and raising their voice and stuff like that. One thing my mother taught me to do, and I didn't do it well a couple of streams ago, but like when I'm talking to children, like I talk to them just like an adult. I don't use baby talk. That's number one. Another thing my mom did is she just like I'm talking right now. Maybe I got this from her. She just talks pretty monotone. She's just like, baby starts crying and she's like, hey, you all right? You're gonna be all right. What did you want something to eat? She don't say, do you want something to eat? She doesn't do it. She doesn't do the shifting thing with her voice or whatever. So she just keeps everything mellow or whatever. And like when we started crying, she would just look at us like you crying for no reason. She didn't holler, she didn't raise her voice, she didn't do a whiny voice with us or nothing like that. So I'm just saying it's an important thing, like to make sure whatever energy you put out is how people are gonna that's how they're gonna act the same way. So anyway, I think I got a great Patreon. There's great energy in there because I try to keep it that way. Anytime somebody goes against that, I'm kicking them out. Um, and the last two times, and I'll say every time I kick somebody out, I usually refund them. But the next person who acts stupid, you might not get refunded. I'm just being honest. Because to be honest, if you in my group for 5 minutes, you saw enough stuff to help you out the cycle. So I try to be, because I don't want people saying like, oh, he tried to scam me. He kicked me out, and I refund people. Every time I kick them out, y'all should know this. I can show you proof. Every time I kick somebody out, which has only been 2 times, I think, I refund them. So anyway, yeah, I think Patreon's a good group. So yeah. A matter of fact, I'll do that early because I never do it. And I'm telling you seriously, like this is a good time to be in when the market is down like this, to be in a good Patreon to, find some good picks to get into. So if you want to join the Patreon, it's at patreon.com/cryptozo. Um, SF said thoughts on the first one, SF, is their contract. Last time I checked, their contract was messed up. I know a lot of people are shilling it. Man, I didn't pick it up. That's all I can say. And one of the main reasons I did kind of like what they said they were doing, to be honest. I can't lie and say I didn't, but the contract was messed up. So before the tax was modified, let me see. Just give me. I'm trying to answer this question, so it's going to take. I remember I think it was on Deck Screener. The contract was the sale tax was modifiable, which is never good because they can change it to 100%. But right now, the sale tax, yeah, I don't like the sale tax is 8%. That was one thing I saw. I see that on Dex Tools on Screener. What we got here. Yeah, this contract is just booty, man. This contract is booty. Nah, that's why I don't. Once again, I can't. There's too many projects on the market for me to make money on. You could be like, man, but this is gonna be one of probably top AI performers, and is low market cap right now, and it's also dumped crazy too. I'm gonna just say it, man. And people are like, oh, I'm gonna clip this, or whatever. I don't care, man. I'm not getting that project. Uh, what's this? I'd seen this one before, and I never went to dig back into it. The second one you asked about. Um, and actually, I think there's 3 projects with this ticker. Yeah, there's a couple of projects with this ticker. I think you're talking about. This is the one I think you're talking about. What did I say about this one? Did I like this one? I can't even remember. The fact that it didn't stick in my head. Either it was bad or I said there's probably better stuff that I want to invest into. Um, hmm. Let me look. Hold on. Give me just a minute. I'm looking. Switch something up real quick. Mm, mm. I might have to look into that one. That might be one of the ones where when I usually do, I say I'll come back and answer on the next stream. I might have to do that one like that because I'll have to look into that one a while. I can't say it right now. But the first one, I know a lot of people have been talking about it. But that contract is booty, man. That contract got so many red flags. But I don't know. You do what you want to do. I don't think I'll be touching it. It was one of the ones I was looking at early until I saw the contract and stuff, but probably not going to do it. Bob said I'm not selling anything. Yeah, man. I'm holding my positions and buying more. I'm cool. Like I said, yeah, my portfolio was probably 40% higher than 3 weeks ago than it is now. Um, but it's just how your portfolio is going to retrace. You can't be trying to sell out every time. You're going to get caught one of those times, get messed up. So I'm cool. 40 said homegrown ETFs came in at 11 million. Yeah. Like I was saying on stream, I know a lot of, and I wasn't the only one saying it, so I'm not trying to say I was the only person with like alpha information, but a lot of the people like in China, could not invest into it. It's like just Hong Kong, and some of the jurisdictions of what you want to call. What's the word I'm looking for? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so it's not like the whole entire every citizen in China could access it right now. They still got to go through some loopholes for them to be able to access it. And plus, like I said, it's a bearish time in Bitcoin. That's what I was talking about. I said it like 2 or 3 days ago that it's probably was going to be, I don't want to say a nothing burger, but it wasn't like it was going to go crazy on the first day of Hong Kong trading ETFs. But there's a lot of money there in there. In the long run, it's going to play out well, probably. But, not on the first day, probably. Just, give it some time. Indigenous said Grand Rising, Zoe and crew. Grand Rising to you, my friend. Quarter Cross said thoughts on Casper. I mean, I'm not. You don't think you've been watching the channel long enough, but I'm not the most bullish on Casper. It could do some. I don't know where it's at now. It probably maybe do a 15x or from here maybe, but a lot of people trying to tell people it's going to do 100 and 500x, and like I keep telling y'all, those people just trying to get you to pump their bags, man. Trying to say it's the next Bitcoin or whatever, and I see a lot of people trying to change their wording about Casper because they realize, they don't realize they've been new, they didn't know anything about the market, but trying to protect themselves or whatever. But it's not about. I don't think it's about to do no 100, 500x. So don't believe that. In the bullish case, because they do kind of have like a meme coins community. What is the math on that? It could do. Um, let's see. Maybe 20, 25x. Maybe if they like really pump this thing up. But as I keep saying, even with some of our plays, you got to realize everybody keeps saying like they were saying this thing, especially at the beginning, like, oh, mid caps were around 8 to 10 billion last cycle. So that means this cycle there's going to be more money. So they're all going to be 30 billion. I notice how people are seeing it, but a lot of people are knowing how to trade. They let something run and they trade out in something lower market cap. People are doing that a lot more this cycle. And so a lot of these projects that people think going to get 80 and 100 billion are not going to really get there because people going to see the slow movement. Then they're going to try to move into something. Well, excuse me. It's of my belief. Let me not say I know what people going to do. It is of my belief that people are going to start moving into something that's moving faster. They're going to keep trickling down their bags into smaller market caps or whatever. But, a lot of the supply is out. So there's not much dilution, blah, blah, blah. And they want to keep saying the fair launch. That fair launch thing is not as big as people think it is or whatever. And let me say, I keep saying this on my channel. Being fair launch does not make something more decentralized. People, especially when we talk about proof of work and staking, they're like, these idiots keep talking about law. This makes Casper decentralized. Decentralized is the number of validators and the number of miners, or whatever you want, whatever term you understand, the miners, the validators. That's what makes a network decentralized, not a bunch of holders. Like, that's the dumbest. That's how you be knowing people don't know what the crap they talking about in crypto. I'm so tired of hearing them say that. They sound so stupid, and they don't realize how stupid they sound. Casper's decentralized because it's fair launched. Like, you sound like a dummy. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry, it just gets on my nerves. I got a little adamant there, but it's just like, God, these people don't know what they're talking about. Like, y'all shouldn't even have crypto channels, man. Um. Anyway, I'm not trying to fuck Casper. It could, like I said, to me, 15 to 25x maybe, and I feel like that's a bullish case or whatever. Um. But yeah, I'm not bullish on it, my guy. Um. Which one is better for you at current? I don't know, because alt is in restake. It's retraced it back to. It's better for. It's in restaking as well. Um. I'm sorry, I'm making these smacking noises all in your ear. Um. I'm trying to answer this question. Probably think. Man, it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. I'm still answering. I know. Um, to be honest, I'm probably thinking Manta over probably Manta, but I don't know. I never know. Nobody ever knows. You never know because they are close right now. They both got decent backing and bullish things about them, so you never know. I can't say for sure. Yeah, probably Manta though. Where we at now? Um, there's definitely a financial shift every 100 years. They knew that it works, so they keep using the same plays. They just keep forgetting because of distractions. Yeah. And this is another thing I will say, even especially about the states, which is why um, we're trying to get multiple. We're not trying to get multiple places outside of the states because of taxes. That helps too. But one thing that the states is doing right now, you got all these people who think they're smart, and they keep doing these. I'm gonna say this straight. I just might get my stream straight, but they keep doing all these things that they think are smart, and they keep doing all these things that they think are smart, and they're trying to, for dumb reasons, they're trying to abuse the citizens or take advantage of citizens, but they don't realize how it affects them in the long term. I'll say this without going too far. They thought printing all these stimulus checks last cycle. Number one, they thought it was going to pack their bags. Number two, they thought they would create a culture that would be dependent on the government more so. I want to use one term, but I don't want to get too political. But they wanted to make it that people would be dependent on the government. Y'all know where I'm going with this if you're smart enough. But what they actually did was cause people to want to be an entrepreneur more. A lot of people's like, you know what? I've been off my job or I lost my job or whatever, but I can make more money over this doing this and working for myself. So it backfired on them. So instead of the states lifting up their country and trying to make sure every citizen is smart, educated, and ahead of the curve, they're seems like they're purposely trying to keep them dumb and keep them down so they're dependent on the government because they feel like it's going to help them, but that's no longer working. So they keep shooting themselves in the foot. Whereas other countries are trying to make sure their citizens are up on technology. And as my lady likes to talk about, oh, what is it? Is it quantum science? I know she hears me. Maybe the stream is late. Probably she probably hear me late, but is making sure their citizens are up on how quantum works and all that stuff works. We're not educating our kids. We got our kid. Never mind. I'm not gonna get too deep in that. Y'all know how they steering these kids now. They're not even trying to make them smart in school or whatever, which is why I was one of those people who was like, growing up, if you grew up, especially if our parents, another generation that, maybe grew up in the 30s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s or whatever, they're like education, education. But in our generation, we realize that the education system is a system. It is not made to make you smart, intelligent. It's not made to make you flourish and a high earning citizen or whatever. Oh, she just sent me some. She stepped out. She said she's not even here. But yeah, but you know, they're teaching their kids stuff to make sure they are ahead of the curve, and we over here trying to figure out how we can make our citizens stupid, whatever. So I'm just, I will have a home there, or whatever, but I'm trying to find as many homes outside of the states as I can in different countries. I went on a tangent there, but no, because you said the thing about the generational shift of wealth every 100 years or whatever. But yeah, they got a playbook that they go by, and so, but they got to realize some of those plays are not going to work. Some people knowing the plays, it's like running the football play. You can't just keep running the same play over and over and thinking people are not going to fall for it. And one thing I will say, as one of the biggest statements of the stream, is we are lucky, blessed, whatever you want to say. We're in the age of information now with social media, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or whatever, where people are talking. It used to be that you could print the newspaper and put out some news to control the media, but people were throwing those newspapers away. They would quickly forget or whatever. And people still are quick to forget now, but you got a reminder. All you got to do is go back and pull up the video where somebody was talking about whether you thought it was a conspiracy theory or whatever. And so we're in the age of information now, and they realize they can't play these games anymore. They are so mad that social media is taking over as far as the age of, excuse me, not the age, but the source of media and news now. You don't have to go watch, whether, I don't care what because y'all be getting hooked on these political crap with whether you believe in Fox, CNN, NBC, whatever crap news you watch or whatever, that's no longer the main source of news anymore. You got teenagers making up news pages or whatever now. So, yeah, those games no longer work, man. Saint Mo said, speak facts, though. That's what I try to do. Run that like button up. Yeah, I'll be forgetting about all that stuff. But yeah, hit the likes on your way in, on your way out, whatever, whatever. How many of your Patreon picks are in games right now? A lot of people's Patreons are you're the part. See, you be trying me. You think I don't know who you are, but I know who you are. Everybody's altcoins are bleeding. If you're stupid enough not to know how to invest in the market, I told you not to invest in that token like you did. So that's your fault. So don't come on my channel trying to be funny. I'm not the person. So get off my channel with playing your games. And it's funny because I know who you are, and I just answered your question nicely on the next question, but you keep coming on here trying to play games. So get off my channel before I kick you off here. You're playing games with the wrong person. I told you to stop investing that much on in the doggone pick anyway. I think you were scaring me anyway. You was in my group you was one of the moles in my group anyway. So you think I'm stupid, but I'm much smarter than most people think I am. So please get off my channel with your foolishness. But anyway, what replay said to your music? I don't know what you mean there. What we got here? Natty said, after being in the market nonstop since 2021, I'm taking a brief break from crypto. Just started doing powerlifting after 5 years. Catch up on TV shows. Yeah, man, I got to get back in the gym myself, man. I've been really, I did a couple of little workouts the other day, but yeah, I'm telling you, y'all don't know this, but I got to get back on it. I got to stick to it because I'm really a gym rat. I'm usually in the gym about 2.5 hours a day. Yeah, y'all gonna see over time. Y'all be like, wait a minute, dude's getting big. But I'm usually much bigger than this. I'm usually like 15 pounds, and I'm not talking about like regular pounds. I'm usually 15 pounds of muscle heavier than what I am right now. So I gotta get it back, man. I gotta get back on it. It's all good though. Dre said, will you take profits when your coins get listed on Coinbase? Depends on where we are in the cycle. Depends on when they get listed. Like I think I got one coming up that's about to be listed, but it depends on how much it runs. But to be honest, I'm just beholden probably till later on in the cycle. If I do take any profits, it may be like, because I feel like this one in particular is going to do well. I might take like 5, 7, maybe 10%. Maybe it depends. Maybe 5% to put into some other stuff that's lower market cap. But for the most part, I try to put in what I'm gonna put in on those projects, and I'm ride them, towards the end of the cycle, and make my money like that. I'm really big on just holding, man. I really am until a certain time in the cycle. Um, what we got here? Dermot said the Solana gamblers are trying to move DSC 20, but they. Oh, I got to look at that one again. I keep seeing so many projects that are like that have a similar name, so I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I mean that's what people are gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. Everybody trying to make quick profits, and I'm pretty sure even though it's bearish right now, some people are gonna start popping. Whether it's meme coins, they're gonna start creating something in the next couple of weeks because some people just got that itch and they just trying to they're trying to make some gains real quick or whatever. So that's what people are gonna do. Um, they always gonna try to do that. Hold on here. Um, duh, 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 duh. But yeah, so it's so fun. Some people are stupid in this market. I'm just saying what it is, and this person trying to make this smart comment, like, bro, everybody's portfolios are bleeding. People so dumb, but I tell you one thing I know is the projects are going to make really good gains. So they're really good projects. Some people don't understand; they don't know who has legit information and who doesn't. So in the beginning of the cycle, you're probably gonna be questioning a lot. Um, but you'll know eventually. Time will always tell. Like I say, even with some of the scam projects or whatever, and people trying to take advantage of people, you know in the long term. Sometimes it may take you a while to find out. That's why number one, you got to get with people that you trust. Number one, and then do your own research or whatever. Like I said, and this same person actually probably petty. I'm gonna show the messages. This person like, oh, I keep loading up on this project. I was like, stop doing it. I got the screenshots. Like this dummy don't even realize it. I say, hey, I like this project, but you got to diversify, or whatever. And the project retraced because it had a little FUD on it or whatever. But listen, man, we fine. We fine. I still fully believe, and not saying with any type of arrogance or trying to shield it, but I still believe I'm definitely one of the best patrons out there. One of the better channels to watch. And like even I said, even some of the stuff I've been talking about for months and months, you see people talking about now. The same people, the same thing that everybody's like crying about and fussing about today on their channel, stuff I've been talking about for the last couple of months, about these projects taking advantage of you, using you for liquidity, which it's always been a thing, but they're doing it different this cycle or whatever. And now everybody's trying to explain to you the same thing I've been explaining or whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but I definitely feel like it's one of the different better patrons. And Indigenous says, Zoe, why does some say the cycle will end this summer? I'm curious what they see. Why they say that? I know one person. Here's another thing that people do, and it gets on my nerves, and it happens with me a lot too. So they'll see something that I say, or they'll see something that somebody else says. And even though I even say this, even though my channel is small, you think like, oh, nobody knows what this channel is. But I'm starting to see a lot of people say stuff almost verbatim like I say it. And I think more people might be seeing my channel than I think. But anyway, so you'll see, like, say it's not me, forget me. So you'll see one YouTuber say something, right? And then other people, because they don't have anything to say or anything to, stream about, they'll take that person's point of view and act like it's their own, and then they'll start repeating what that person is saying. So what I will say is this one guy who seemed decent at first, but I don't know. After a while, listening to him, he sounded kind of kooky. You know, I say some stuff that sounds like conspiracy sometimes too, I guess, to some people. But at first, it was kind of like light conspiracy. Then he just went full quack. But anyway, he was one of the first people. He was a what you call it, astrologist or whatever, and he trades based on astrology. So he started saying it, and then everybody just started like trying to jump on top of it and like repeat what he was saying, that the cycle was going to end this summer or whatever, because something he saw in Orion's belt. And listen, man, nah, bro. Like I said, let's make this simple. Everybody want to say why they think the cycle is going to end early. Why is this? And I said simply, yes, some of the people that got in the ETF have already made 80% from when they got in on the ETF or whatever. Because I think when they started first getting in, it was around 40,000. But they want to make more money than that. They trying to milk this market just like we did, and so they still want to make money. So I don't think this cycle is over. And people trying to say, and people also do that for shock value. They don't care that they can lead you astray, and if they can get your views off shock value, they'll do that. And then when the time comes and it doesn't come true, they'll make up something else, and they'll just keep rolling through their channel, and people will continue to watch. Like I said, people who scam people, I'm like, how do y'all have anybody that's still watching your channel if you have after you have visibly scammed multiple people? But some people are slow. I'm just saying, calling it with it. Some people are slow, and they're gonna continue to follow scammers. They're gonna continue to follow people who predict wrong, and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So it is what it is. But I think dude went off the deep end with the astrology thing. I think it just was too far. Maybe he meant well, but yeah. But that's why you see a lot of people saying that thing now about the cycle's gonna end in the summer. I don't know, because the little dipper told them something. I don't know, man. Just found you a couple of weeks back. You sound very similar to what's going on in my head. Been here since 2014. Have you looked at? I looked at it, but due to the market cap and some of the people that I see that's trying to push it, I didn't like it. Maybe I'll get a chance to look at it some more later. Um, I know what they're saying. Cubic is trying to do or whatever, but I just every time somebody asks me something, I try to refresh what I'm trying to remember where my notes were at on it. I'm about to look again on stream, but I'm pretty sure I don't think my mind is going to change. And with my predictions, I say like a lot of people predict stuff wrong because they don't know what they're talking about and they just trying to do it for shock value. I could be bearish on something and it still does well, but I still don't care because I'm still be making money over somewhere else. But I didn't. I'm looking it up now. I'm looking. Yeah, they be pushing the crap out of this thing too. Is that what is up on the day? Excuse me, y'all. I need to go blow my nose, I think. Yeah, they got this. Yeah, this is. I see. I see. I see. I only see 3 people following this project that I trust. Um, the rest of them is like loaded with scammers, and I mean like big scammers. Like not even an inkling of hope of them being a good person type scammer. Then there's this other person who's not really in crypto but is in finances. I don't know. Maybe they know something I don't, but I'm not looking to get into it. Seasick. I've seen it. I've seen people talk about what it's going to do and it's going to be on the hot blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm just not that bullish on it. It just I'm look at one more thing. Is he the founder? I think I remember seeing something about this. Yeah, I think I looked up something. He seemed like it's decent. I'm just not bullish on it. I can't hold everything, so I can't be bullish on everything either. But yeah, I'm no. Alex said, when do you see the cycle ending? It feels like they're trying to drag it out. It still could be maybe fall of 2025. Depending on how alts have moved and how the market moves, probably start laddering out around April next year. Taking some profits or whatever. I don't know. We got us day by day. We got day by day, week by week. We have to revisit this question. To be honest, it's a good idea to take a position on. Where is it at? That's one I hate talking about. I got a big bag, so I hate talking about some of this stuff. But you asked about it. I didn't talk about it. I would say so. Yeah, I would think it's a. I would say it's a good time. Um, Anthony, is it a good time to get into? Are y'all in the Patreon? Y'all gotta be in the Patreon, man. Y'all acting a lot of stuff on here. yeah, it's pretty decent time for that one. Yeah. Is it possible that people learn from past cycles and no one wants to be left on the top? Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, everybody's gonna be moving different this cycle, man. I'm telling you, I don't even count the first two cycles. As far as people like learning how to move in the market and how and when to take profits and all that stuff, people wouldn't really think about that the first two cycles. And one of those was my first one, but it's the last cycle. The very last cycle is when people's like, okay, we kind of see how this thing moves. People understand about the cycle, how to take profits and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be real different this cycle. I think different than people think. I'm happy if more money flows into space. I'm not saying it's not going to be, but I just don't think it's going to work the way people think because the market is going to be oversaturated. Anyway, that's crazy. I didn't know I was on here 80 minutes. So we've been over here almost an hour and a half. But listen, guys, if you want to join the Patreon, it's at patreon.com/cryptozo. Like I said, I think it's a good time to get in while the market's down. Not to say to FOMO into my group or not to make money off no Patreon, but a lot of people try to FOMO into whether it's Patreon or crypto after the market is pumping. And then by the end, you're late. This is probably a big statement I'm going to say next, but I don't mean it in its entirety. But it's almost like a chance to get in the bear market again. Because like I said, that's why everybody thought there was a genius coming out of the bear market. Because yeah, everything's gonna pump. Everything's been sitting still for a long time. Then when everything pumps, you feel like you're smart. But here's the thing: you got to realize what's pumping just because we got out of a bearish time, and what's going to continue to pump. And so that's why people gonna feel like they're smart. Like, see, I told you this was good. Look at it pumping. Yeah, but is it going to continue to pump? How much is it going to pump? So you got to really be in spaces where people kind of know what's going on in the space and they can give you stuff to do your own due diligence and research on so you can, make some life changing wealth in this. Because, I'm sorry, I mean, 4 years is it's a short time when you talk about life. But it's a long time to wait for another chance to make generational wealth. So you want to try to get it right this time. And like I said, especially with regulation coming, we don't know what that's going to look like next time. So make this money while you can make this money. Appreciate you guys hanging out on the stream. Hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully you're not too scared and not getting shaken out of the market and all that type of stuff. And you just pay attention, man. Don't FOMO. Don't try to gamble too much on meme coins and runes and all that kind of good stuff. And just keep focused, man. If you have patience and put your money in good projects, you're going to be able to make some money. It may take longer because you're like, because people have this thing where they're like, I'm just doing this little bit of money to see what I can quick flip. But that one quick flip, when you lose, it turns into multiple quick flips and you end up spending all your money. Like I said, I'm not trying to, talk bad about anybody or make fun or be petty, but we had somebody in the group who was like, man, I should have listened to you. So, man, I gambled away all my money on meme coins. It's like, if you would have been patient, yeah, some of the altcoins retracing have bled out a little bit, but if you just be patient, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So anyway, hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you next time.